Hi everyone, today we are looking at the game between Jawahir Sindarov and Wei Yi. It was a very important game because who wins this game win a whole match and win a tournament. So, tournament FIDE World Cup 2025. Let's start watching this game. Please push the like in advance and I promise you that it will be really interesting video. E4, E5, knight to F3, knight to F6, D4, very solid opening. Of course, was possible to take on E5, but after D6, knight to F3, knight takes on E4. It's a completely equal position, maybe with some chances, but of course, on this level, people know everything here, and everything was prepared before the game. So let's come back. Jawahir chose another possibility here. He just played d4, knight takes on e4, bishop d3, d5, knight take on e5. And here, of course, black want to trade some pieces like these two knights. Okay, castle, takes, knight to c5. Okay, it's a very important move too because somewhere our knight could be under attacks like rook to e1 or queen to e2. So we just put it back to closer to other pieces and so on, and just attack as a bishop on d3. So f4. If we play something like bishop e2, it's not something very good for white because it's completely equal position. But if we play f4, it's we try to get initiative here, so it's more interesting possibility. So knight takes on d3, queen takes on d3, g6. We just protect our position from very important idea, f5, because if black would do something like bishop to e7 here after f5, position will be just bad for black because now we can't make a castle here because after castle f6 the king will be completely open here, and white will win this game after a few moves. So castle impossible. If we play something like bishop d7, we can just look at these two bishops, and of course now we have even one more problem: unprotected pawn on d5. But these two b's looks absolutely terrible here. So it means that f5 we must interfere to do that. So g6 was played, bishop to e3, just develop our pieces, and c5. It looks completely strange, but it's modern chess, yeah, because people now know almost everything in the opening. So if they are sure that they can remind everything, so they just play everything that wrote computer at home. So c5, knight to c3. Now just develop our knight to active position, and of course we understood that d4 was possible here, and knight to e4. Of course it's a preparation of Sindarov over here. So Wei declined this piece, and he just played bishop to e7, protected one more weak square on f6. But if black takes on e3 after knight f6, king to e7, queen to b5, yes, it's not mate yet, but very, very, very dangerous position for black. So and black must do something like e2 here, and they must know everything here yet to play it, because it's very, very dangerous in so important game, in the fateful moment of the whole tournament, just to play this variation. So e2, queen to e2, it would be possible, but okay, bishop g7, rook to d1, queen a5, g4, and white completely strange position without understandable things here. So they just want to play f5 and so on, but really hard to evaluate how to play with black pieces here, because white just attacks, and king on e7 will be weak maybe a few moves more, and of course it's really hard to play with black pieces here. So c4, the best move. This move wrote, of course, computer. Queen to e3, king to f8, the best move again, but why? Okay, and after f5, queen to b6, rook to d4. Of course, black wanted to exchange queens to stop attack on their king, but the rook to d4 to protect the queen from the straight. Bishop f6, e take on f6, bishop take on f5, g take on f5, queen take on f6, queen h6, and the best move king to g8. Of course, again, position with only one sacrificed pawn, but really strong initiative on the white side. So, of course, if even knew this possibility, didn't go here. So let's come back. In the game was just plain move bishop to e7, bishop to f2, just protected our bishop, bishop f5, queen to e2, just go back with our king from the spinning of the bishop. So castle, and of course g4. The only move that can give us possibilities to continue the game and try to win it, because if black would have more tempos here, they would play queen to d5, rook d8, rook c8, c4, and only black can win here. So it's of course bad for white. So they must force something in the position and do something aggressive here. So g4. It looks good, yes, of course. We a little bit make our king weaker, but it's not something criminal yet. So bishop to d7. Main idea, of course, somewhere bishop g3, f5, and continue our plan here. Bishop to g3, d3. Okay, it's again, it's computer preparation, because and of course we knew everything here. He just played this move immediately, maybe okay, maybe yes, immediately, even didn't spend a minute here. So it means that only one move in this position give black normal possibilities to play this game, to play this position, because if they play something normal like bishop to c6, this position is a little bit worse for black. After f5, queen to d5, rook to e1. Here, initiative on the white side, and white can do a lot of interesting things here. So, and of course, Javahir wanted to do something like that because he is very aggressive chess player. He wants these dynamic things in the game. So. It was very, very dangerous here if we would forget about this d3 move. So d3, c take on d3, f5, very important move, because we could do that before, but after f5 here, after e take on f6, bishop take on f6 here, we had this problem, knight takes on c5, so we just sacrifice it on d3, and after take f5, take here, it's not very good possibility, because after take bishop d4, bishop f2, I think rook take on f4, everything must be good here. So yeah, black completely good here. So it means that f5 again the strongest move in the position. E take on f6, bishop take on f6, rook to e1, everything good, position equal. Bishop to d4, bishop f2, and bishop b5. Again, the best move in the position. A lot of hard possibilities was there, but bishop b5 is the best one. Yes, so bishop b5, queen to f3, and bishop take on b2. And the idea is to take on d3 somewhere and rook to b1. It's a huge mistake. Now you can just stop a little bit and start thinking how would you play here in this position. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's check. First move was right. We made the best move here. Take, and rook takes on b2. And here was very strange situation because VE didn't find the best move that gave him a lot of interesting possibilities how to win this game. So he just took on e4 and position after a few moves. After maybe 10 or 15 moves. Finished with a draw. So, but after bishop take on f1, but after rook takes on f4, it would be much more interesting position. After knight c5, rook takes on g4 check, bishop g3, bishop takes on f1, king takes on f1, rook f8, king to g2, b6, and knight d7. And after rook f5, we have position where black have two pawns and the rook against two light pieces. And in general, this position was possible to win only with black pieces. I don't know why he didn't find this possibility, because it's a guy from I don't know, top 10 players or close to top 10 players. He's really strong guy, but he didn't find it. Okay, so he made another decision, and he just played bishop take on e4, and after bishop c5, rook to c8, bishop to d4. Of course, some pressure exists in the position yet, but Javahir made everything good and made a draw very confident way. So bishop e5, rook to d8. He just want to make active these two rooks. H3, bishop d3, attack everything on the third rank. Bishop b3, just rook c2, take, rook to g2, king to h1, rook takes on g4. It looks very dangerous and so on, but everything was calculated here right. So rook to f3, rook to g3, king to h2, takes, and we have this. And now we have position with two different bishops. So this type of position is completely equal. Maybe not 100% of times, but here it's this position, it's a draw, of course, completely. After a4, king to f7, king to g3, bishop c6, a5, b5, takes. Of course, it was forced, because if black gives possibility for white to play something like bishop d4 and force a6 move after bishop to b6, this bishop and pawn will stack these two pawns, and the king with two pawns here will stack these two pawns, and of course it's impossible to break it. So that's why he tried to make this pass pawn after take, king to f2, king e6, king e3, bishop g2, h4, king to f5. It looks maybe a little bit dangerous, because somewhere this king want to go here and just take everything, but it's not a big problem. Bishop d6, king g4, bishop to e7. Somewhere we protected this pawn and this pawn. Of course, one more problem here, that this pawn can just go and take more our attention to this pawn. So and black do that. b5, bishop g5, b4, and now it's completely draw. King to d2, here, and after king to h5, it looks maybe with some chances for black, but no, because after bishop f6, if he go back, we can just go back, and h6 would be impossible, because the bishop can take there. And if we play here h6 after bishop to g7, very accurate move. Absolutely everything good for white, and white made a draw. So because here impossible to pass this pawn, and this pawn will be stuck forever with this bishop and the pawn on f4. So it was very interesting game, where Javahir at first tried to clean the opening, make some problems for the opponent, but VE knew everything and just made a really easy draw. Maybe he could even win this game, like we saw in the middle of the game. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye, goodbye.